Hello everyone and welcome to another Roaring Records video series. Today I'm going to be addressing issues that might apply to anyone that wants to do an at-home music audition recording. So during COVID times, things like Allstate and things like college auditions, and these might be done in more of a virtual setting. So I wanted to provide you some information to help make good videos to send for auditions. So what we're going to talk about today is help. I need to submit an audition video. So what is going to go into making a good audition video if, say, you were a band, choir, or orchestra member? Well, different budgets for schools and different budgets for people at home will be able to afford different levels of audio. For example, this is a really nice broadcast microphone. It's actually the same microphone that Michael Jackson recorded the Thriller album on. It's pretty cool, but it doesn't come cheap. You might not be able to afford that, but you might be able to afford something like this. This is a USB level condenser mic. So you might want to consider something that's more along those lines. So I'm going to walk through different options today for how to record audio, as well as different things that could fit into your video recording budget. So there are lots of tools to make your budget work for you, and I want to show you the tools that are out there for each budget. I'm going to try to show you lots of options at different levels. Video quality does matter for a school music audition. However, it needs to matter to the point that it does not distract the person that's evaluating your video. So thinking about having a super high-def cinema quality video experience is maybe not as important as having an audio quality that really wows the listener. So we want to have audio quality that is as high fidelity or representative of your instrument and performance level as possible, whereas the video quality could be slightly reduced and still be very effective as long as your presentation is very clean. So remember, there are lots of things about videos that will help make them better, nicer cameras, but the number one thing is to shed light on the situation. So you may want to grab an LED light or some kind, be in a very well-lit room near a window, preferably the camera not facing the window, but allow the light from the window to come in on you. These types of things will help aid in a lot of light being shed on you, the performer. And anytime in a video that you can put more light on a subject, you're probably going to come out with a better video quality. So one of the things you want to pay attention to is how well you light yourself for the video. There are lots of good LED lighting options out there that are cheap on Amazon now. Another thing to remember is that a more expensive microphone does not yield a better recording. You actually want to match the type of microphone you use to the space that you're in, the type of room, the type of recording you're going to make to be able to make the best choices. Okay, as far as recording video goes, and here we're just talking about video quality. For an at-home audition, there are some free options that you can take advantage of. For instance, you can use Google Meet or Zoom to record your meeting. It's really nice that you can open up a Zoom meeting, play your excerpt in front of your computer webcam. If you've lit the room well and you have your computer setting in a good spot, you might be able to get a pretty good video. And that would be very passable for an audition for some music event. The camera there in that budget option or the low-tech option is built into your computer in most cases, or your Chromebook. And if not, you can even use a phone or a tablet, especially if you pair it with something like this Shure MV5 microphone that's available to you. So post-production for there, you might want to open it up in your phone and trim the beginning and ending so that you don't see that you pressing the record button. It's just you standing up and playing your part. So that would be the budget version. Essentially, that's free as long as you don't add a microphone to it, but your computer microphone is generally not the best in the world for recording audio. The mid-level version here in the middle of the screen, this would include some software like Bandicam, which is actually free, or iMovie. If you wanted to record in iMovie, you can actually have it record the camera that's on your computer if you have a Mac. You could attach some kind of USB webcam to your computer. Those range anywhere from like $10 to $250, depending on how nice a one you want to get a hold of. And post-production there, you could use something like Video Studio by Corel or the Adobe Premiere Elements. And that would be able to make subtle adjustments to lighting and exposure and just be able to trim the video to be the right length. In the top quality category, we have some different options, and one of these is actually free. It's actually the program I'm recording this with right now. It's called OBS, or Open Broadcast Studio. It is free. obsproject.com. You're able to route different audios. You're able to route different cameras. All sorts of things go into the production. Or you could use something like Final Cut or Adobe Premiere Pro. These are the top level movie editing softwares. As far as cameras go, if you wanted to hook up a GoPro Hero 9, you can actually record straight to the GoPro like you normally would if you were riding on a mountain bike trail or whatever. Or with the new GoPro Hero 9, you can connect via USB cable in order to run the GoPro Hero 9 as an USB webcam. You still get the 1080 resolution. You can control the angle of the lens. These are really great, especially if you're going to try to pair it with recording with Google Meet. It's a better camera for sure, accepts light better. Or you could go all out and get like a DSLR style Canon or Nikon camera. Then you could run all the audio through your computer and actually run a male headphone cable to male headphone cable that would go to your computer or your camera's microphone input jack, and then you could actually run sound through your computer and potentially add things like EQ, compression, and reverb in order to fill out the sound of your recording a little bit. But that's on the top quality list for a reason, because it requires that you're the most tech savvy with what you're doing. Now, as you're thinking about setting up your video environment, a few things that you should bear in mind. One, it seems obvious, but I'm going to say it, clean up the surrounding areas that will be seen in this video. There's no reason to show dirty environment all over the place. So clean up the environment so you don't see a bunch of distracting stuff. You don't want to distract the listener from paying attention. So to do this, you could do a few things. One, move all the stuff you don't want to be seen to behind the camera. Or two, consider purchasing a photo backdrop and a stand, maybe from Amazon, preferably something neutral gray or blue. Those tend to videotape really well. And you would stand in front of that, and that would help protect what is behind you. Also could potentially add a nice sound absorbing quality to improve the audio recording. You want to shed as much light on the situation as possible. We talked about that earlier. You kind of want to stand in the center of the camera in order to make sure that all of you as the performer can be seen. You want to include all of your instrument. So if you play like a stand-up bass or something, you're going to have to spread the camera out wider so that it covers more areas so that it gets you as the entire performer and all of your instrument. Cello would be another big one. Tuba would be another big one, so you'll have to think about camera placement and things like that. There are staring straight on at the computer as a trumpet player or a saxophone player or a cello player or something may not be the best example of what you want to do, because it's kind of hard to see what's actually happening on the instrument a lot of times. So actually staying at a 45-degree angle is a really good idea, and I say that for multiple reasons. One of them is that it just kind of looks nicer if you're playing with this 45-degree angle. And number two, it actually keeps you from being able to see the screen of your computer, which may be kind of distracting for what you're going to be doing. So if you have an issue with nerves and performing and you see yourself, you might be distracted from the music by looking at what you're doing on the camera. So I would suggest staying at that 45-degree angle so whatever you're recording with isn't distracting you, and maybe that calms your nerves. Try not to place a music stand directly between you and the camera. That's another good thing about being at a 45. The music stand can be over here and not in between you and the camera. Try not to place the music stand right between you and the microphone, because as soon as you put something between you and the microphone, then you're creating a barrier to the audio traveling clearly, so you don't want to do that. And try to avoid places that are going to have a lot of background noise. One of the biggest offenders for background noise is a ceiling fan. Now, a ceiling fan may not seem that loud, but the way the audio bounces up into those blades and it chops it, it kind of gives you that like Star Wars effect. You begin to hear that ceiling fan wash come into your sound, and that is not a good thing for what you want to do. Washing machines going off, like singing their little "I'm Done" song, or just can get in your audio really easily. Barking pets. Just think about your environment as you begin to set that up, and look for something that is going to work with your video quality that you're trying to shoot. So that's kind of the video scenario. We're next going to move into audio, so that'll be in part 2 of this series. Feel free to click the thumbs up, subscribe below, and make sure you watch the next video.